Want to build a calendar app in SwiftUI with SwiftData using MVVM? This is the perfect place to start. This is the application we will create. We can create a new task by clicking on any date within the calendar. Each of the tasks will be stored within SwiftData. So the task I will add for this example is mow the lawn. Priority, medium. The task is now added to SwiftData. As you can see, because I added the task to SwiftData, it displays the count on the calendar date that one task has been added. If I add another task, it will increment to 2. For this task, I'll just name it wash the car. Priority low. Click on add. As you can see, it has now been incremented to 2. We can also search for tasks within SwiftData. If I type in CAR, as you can see, car is selected at the top of the list, and we can display all tasks within SwiftData. We can also delete a task. And when I delete the task, the count on the calendar date will be reflected. As you can see, it was 2 originally, and now it's been reduced to 1. So this is the actual application that we'll be creating in this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials. The first thing we need to do is to create our new data model, which is called task. So this will be a Swift file. And the purpose of this data model is to enable the task to be stored within that model, which is a data table. Select Swift file. Name the file task. Import SwiftUI. Import Swift data. Type the following: app model, class, and then the name of our data table, which is called task. And then we need to add our attributes that will be within our data table. We need a unique ID. We also need another attribute, which is called title, because each task includes a title. And each task needs a date. Each task includes a priority. Next thing we need to do is to implement our initializer. Should be UID. And then it's title, string, date, priority, self dot priority equals priority. And lines 18, there shouldn't be a colon there after bar. Need to delete that one. So it should be self.id equals to ID. And yeah, we need self.title is equal to title. So anything else missing? Value of type task has no member title. Title should be lowercase t on line 18. Make the language translator functional. The first thing we need to do is register for an API key. In this lesson, we will create the downloading translation view. So within the application, when the user enters the text that they want to be translated, for example, if I enter hello, and I want that to be translated from English to Spanish, when I click on translate, you'll see a view above here, which will display the word downloading. Learn to build a language translator apps with SwiftUI Master UI Design, API integration, and hands-on projects. Enroll now and start building. The next file we need to create is called task priority. The purpose of this file is to give each task a priority, such as low, medium, or high. We need to create another Swift file. Name the file task priority. Add the following: enum task priority, int 16, case irritable, as we need to loop through each of the cases. Identifiable, case low equals 1, so the urgency for that task is low. Medium equals to 2. It's a little bit more important. Case high equals 3. That means that it's very urgent, high priority. Var ID int 16. Raw value. And the reason why we need that so that it conforms to identifiable when we're looping through the array using the ID. The next thing we need to do is to display the label for each priority. Var label string switch cell case.low return low, which is low priority. Case.medium, it should be a colon, return medium. Case.high, return high. Just compiling at the moment. The next file we need to create is our view model, which is our calendar view model. Select Swift file, name the file calendar view model. The purpose of the view model is to manage the calendar and the task data. Import SwiftUI, import SwiftData at observable. As we need to detect for any changes. Class calendar view model. And I think we also need to import observation just to make sure that it's always compilable. Var selected, it should be selected date equal date, which is the current selected date on the calendar. Var task title, which will be the new task title. Var task date, which is the new task date input by the user. Var task priority, task priority. The default priority is low. Var show modal equals false. Var show all tasks equals false. Search query and also what else do we need? Oh yeah, we need a task an array of tasks. And we also need SwiftData context, which is model context, that will enable the application to fetch and save and manipulate the data within the database, which is SwiftData. We also need to create our initializer, which is context, model context, self.context equals context, fetch, task. So we need to create that method, but I don't think it exists as yet. So we create that method for the next tutorial. And then we also need to add our toggle function, toggle show all tasks, that enables the user to show all of the tasks within their task list, or just to show a task on a certain date, on a specified date. Task.toggle. It should be show all tasks. Show all tasks. On lines 22, there should be an S at the end of show all tasks. And then we also need a method called fetch task. In the next tutorial, we will continue to implement our calendar view model. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials.